Welcome back to Holosky Podcast, Listener Experience Edition. We are your hosts. I'm Steven.
And Kyle.
And it's Thursday, Holocult. You know what that means. We're here to help push you through the last stretch of that work week. We're here to get weird with your experiences, which is awesome. But before we get into that, we got to get through the business. So check us out at all our socials: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Discord, Reddit. Search up the Holosky Podcast. Join the Holocult. Be part of the community. You know the drill. Be sure to check us out every Monday on your podcatcher for the normal show, the regular show. Tuesday, you can catch the night shift recap from the week before. Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central on YouTube, you can come and hang out with us night shift live. And Thursday, put you right here with our listener experiences. If you have a listener experience you'd like to be featured on a future episode of this very program, Kyle's got some information you're going to want to write down.
I do. It's also in the show notes if you get a little overwhelmed, but you can write your story out or record yourself, then shoot that over to the email, which is going to be holoskypodcast@gmail.com. You can call or text the holophone, 618-556-0837. Or if you want to send real mail or just cool shit, you can. And that's going to be Holosky Podcast, P.O. Box 145, Fieldon, Illinois, 62031.
If you'd like to support the show, plenty of ways to do it. You can check out our Patreon, which is changing. I think if you are not a Patreon member and you want to sign up, there is only a $7 tier, which is what we're swapping to. Be sure to sign up for that. But we got extra episodes over there. We've got ad-free episodes, all sorts of stuff. We also have a merch store at our website, holoskypodcast.com. You can go over there, check out some goodies, rep some Holo merch. Best thing you can do is share the show word of mouth. You know the drill, grassroots. Keep the Holo cult spreading. It's the best thing you can do. Helps us out tremendously. It's getting so difficult to be able to push the show forward and expand. So any help we can get is much appreciated. But now that we got that out of the way, we're going to jump right in to our listener experience for this evening. It's from our friend Jennifer. It's called Clicking Communications. Jennifer says, "Hi guys, I was listening to episode 162 and felt compelled to share. If you want weird shit, I've got it. I'm well known as the queen of weird shit. In the episode, I noticed the Appalachian Mountains were the focus of the mysterious UFO events, and I can confirm as that I live in western North Carolina on a mountain that is aligned with the 37th parallel. I will share a related story below, but if you want more experiences to consider, I can send you my book, Life Beyond Us. Enjoy the mystery, and thanks for being you, Jennifer." So, into these clicking beings. Everybody, I am not sure where you can get the book, but look it up. Life Beyond Us by Jennifer. Support all our weird friends. On to these clicking beings. After getting comfy in bed one night, I began to hear a strange out-of-this-world sound coming from my back deck. I was lying on my side with my back to the deck. The noise sounded so creepy, I just laid there still. I adopted the what I don't know won't bother me intelligence and had no intention of rolling over to see what it was. My dog also heard the noise. My dogs also heard the noise. Both sat up on guard, looking out the window. I next heard what I could only describe as a spaceship sound in the air. Whatever it was, it sounded as if it had landed on my deck. I had never given much focus to alien beings, so I figured it had to be the wind simply sounding like a spaceship, until my dogs jumped off the bed in full-on attack mode, barking at the window. I didn't know if the beings could see us or if they would try to come in, so I was quite freaked out. I stressfully whispered to the dogs to be quiet and get back into the bed. I did not want whatever they were to know that we were inside. The dogs returned to the bed, and I grabbed a hold of them. I kept praying, "God, please don't let them see us. Please don't let them see us." Then a high-pitched sound hit the air, making everything silent. I heard what sounded like a pressurized door open. As if that weren't enough to scare me out of my skin, I then heard two beings walking around on my back deck. One went to one end of the deck, and the other to the other end. As I lay there frozen, my dog strangely didn't move a muscle either. I listened as the two beings began to communicate with each other in a clicking language. One would click in a sequence of clicks, and then the other would respond similarly. As I listened, I noticed the dogs were listening too. They cocked their heads as each being began clicking. The beings spoke, clicked, back and forth a few minutes. While they communicated with each other, I sensed they were unaware that the dogs and I were inside. While this was a rare experience, nearly equal parts chilling and thrilling in retrospect, at the time I just wanted them to leave. I thankfully soon heard the craft start, the pressurized door close, and the visitors leave. Having no desire to sleep, it dawned on me that the reason the beings didn't seem to be aware the dogs and I were inside was due to what the roping creature had done on my deck. Then again, that little or what's it say? To what the roping creature had done on my deck. Then again, that little reaper may have been making some type of landing strip. Either way, I felt like the deck creature had gone with the rope, cloaked us from the clicking beings. Why they chose my balcony out of all the other houses in the world is beyond me. Being deeply curious, I decided to call the non-for-profit Mutual UFO Network, MUFON, to report the incident. The lead investigator called me back and informed me that there had been an increased report of UFO activity in my area. He explained what I had described had been reported by many people in the area before. When I asked him why the visitors chose my deck, he laughed and said, "You must be a psychic or an energy sensitive person because they often connect with people who have extrasensory abilities. Next time it happens," he continued, "be sure to look and take pictures." I replied, "That's not going to happen." I didn't worry about these otherworldly beings appearing again because honestly, I felt completely protected and I had no further contact with the clicking beings until 7 years later. Jennifer says, "We're back." 7 years later, a new client came into my salon for hair services. She was visiting the area on vacation and we were connected instantly. She asked me to join her for dinner and conversation at her place one evening. I arrived at her short-term rental as planned. We enjoyed an evening of high consciousness conversation. During our discussion, she asked me if I believed in alien life forms and otherworldly beings. I responded with a chuckle, saying, "Well, I wasn't sure at first, but then I had an experience that made me wonder." I continued by telling her about the clicking beings. She smiled and shared, "Well, let me tell you something. Every night I've been here, I've heard a clicking sound coming from my closet. I've searched the closet and the entire apartment for an explanation and found no source of the clicking." I shook my head mindlessly as I remembered my experience and said, "Well, now I'm really going to blow your mind. When I experienced the clicking beings on my deck, I lived in the apartment right above this one." She asked me how to stop them from communicating. I said the only thing I could think of is just open the closet door and tell them that you're not interested in speaking with them. I told her being direct typically works in the spirit world and maybe it'd work here too. She called me the next day and said she'd done just that, and the clicking promptly stopped. Jennifer, thank you so much for taking the time to write in here. Creepy, first off.
Very.
Just the idea of hearing beings, for lack of a better term, communicating in such a way kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Especially not being able to like full on see them, but being able to hear them. There's something ominous and strange about that. And the fact that they're communicating in a way that you don't know what their intentions are. Like you can't make out
That's
what they're
true.
trying to say back and forth to one another. So you can like have some sort of plan in place. Like, oh shit, they're going to break in the house or something. It's, yeah, it's gross.
It's uncomfortable. I would like to know if you've submitted this story somewhere else, because I feel like I've heard this story before.
It's
I feel
we've
like
heard the, we've heard the clicking
read
sound.
it. Yeah.
We've heard the clicking sound quite a few times.
Maybe I'm adding, two stories together there, like you're saying, hearing about the clicking. But I feel like I've read it before somewhere. Not sure where, so it left me a little bit perplexed. But it also reminds me of Product Preserve Destiny, how dude had more or less psychic abilities, and was chosen by the government to communicate with Greys. Furthermore, they had a genetics program that apparently created these types of people. So maybe there's something to that. Maybe somewhere down the line you were part of a genetics program, which is not very comfortable, but that's kind of where we're at. I also am very curious as to why something would put protection on your house from these clicking beings, the clickers.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to. I wish I could remember where we had heard that before. Was it missing 411 cases? Maybe.
I don't remember. I know that I've heard similar to this story, if not the same story somewhere. I just can't put a finger on it because there's at this point there's so much stuff that we've looked through. It's hard to keep track of everything.
Yeah. And like I said before, I went through all of our emails and I put a bunch of the ones that we had missed over and threw them into a file. So this, I don't even know when this one was sent in. We could have read it when it first came through and then we didn't get to it. So we may have just read it on the fly.
It definitely could be. That could be the case.
Yeah. But it's weird.
Like you said, it puts you in a really uncomfortable position of it's got to be terrifying to lay there and hear what you would perceive as two things not from this planet or / dimension speaking in a way that you don't understand. Yeah, you have no idea what they're talking about. You have no idea what they're gonna do next. Me, that's gross.
I did find an article. I'm kind of sitting here looking, trying to see if there's any correlation between paranormal experiences and these clicking sounds. And I did find an article on LinkedIn from 2015 from Dr. PhD Deborah Coughlin, paranormal researcher and criminal profiler. I'll just read this real quick because it kind of ties into what Jennifer had experienced here. So Dr. Coughlin says aliens do speak. They talk just like you and me. Well, maybe not exactly like us, but they do communicate. While it's been widely reported that aliens have visited us and that telepathy is a preferred manner in which they speak to us, there are many incidences when humans report aliens speaking in clicks. I've heard the sounds when examining witnesses' recordings. The sound are somewhat similar to dolphin clicks. However, it's not exactly the same. It's important to note that those who've come into contact with extraterrestrials have had vastly different experiences. Though the majority report negative contact, there are a few who've had pleasant interactions. In either cases, aliens did communicate. Telepathy was more common, but the clicking is widely reported too. These hallmarks of these encounters are many. First, in the clicking cases, as I like to call them, witnesses report seeing UFO and aliens. They usually go hand in hand in these types of sightings. Either witnesses see a UFO immediately preceding the encounter or right after. Second, unusual creatures are seen, often by multiple witnesses. These entities are described as having skin that looks rubbery and varies from green to gray. The body's thin. Strangely, people have had a hard time describing what their heads look like. Some say that they just couldn't get a good look at it. Those who did said the creatures had big eyes and were either blackish or they were glowing. Third, witnesses reported that the aliens did not want to be spotted. In short, the extraterrestrials would hide and peek around objects to watch humans. This type of thing happens outside more than indoors. Frequently takes place in or near a wooded area. When people catch sight of the beings, the clicking sounds are heard. It is as if the aliens are surprised when they're caught and then speak. Usually these extraterrestrials back off once seen, but they do come back. It's like they become fascinated with certain people and want to keep track of them. Fourth, witnesses also report hearing these clicking sounds coming from electrical devices, which are unplugged and non-battery operated shortly after seeing the UFOs and the creatures. It's not clear whether the entities are using these devices or if something else is going on, but enough people have been reported to note it. Fifth, most clicking cases are associated with abduction. While people may not necessarily remember all of the abduction time, they remember enough of it. Plus, they report having fresh cuts or scars after these events. The cuts are symmetrical, as if done intentionally, like surgery. Almost always, those who go through this report pain. These are not good contacts. Victims say they observe aliens touching, prodding them while expressing little to no concern for comfort. Though there may be one alien that shows compassion, the others are basically without empathy, like psychopaths. A few people who reported good experiences say they were not abducted. They only saw extraterrestrials and UFOs and heard the clicking sounds. They were not victims of experimentation. This could be the result of one of two things. Either there are different types of aliens who use the same clicking sounds, or those who report positive experiences have not yet had an abduction. Sightings suggest that there are more than one type of alien. In summary, the clicking aliens appear to be observing us. They tend to keep their distance, but come close enough to be heard and seen, but they never fully engage. A majority of contacts produce intense fear and leave witnesses shaken. Abductees refer to themselves as victims because they feel violated. Having been observed and even taken without their consent, they are rightfully angry and frightened. Because there's so much social stigma, those who have these contacts are reluctant to come forward. They don't want to lose careers or be painted with a crazy label. There are so many reports worldwide which are consistent, you have to question what is happening. There's no way governments can be oblivious, but still the alien concept is mocked widely. One wonders if this is done on purpose or to keep people quiet. Yeah, this is almost a decade old, so I wonder if
That was disgusting.
yeah,
It definitely gave me chills.
the fact that she relates them to dolphin communication and then talks about their skin, the way she talked about their skins feels similar to like dolphin skin, rubbery and
definitely.
gray.
It almost makes you wonder if they come from the ocean.
Yeah, which I mean, there's a wide swath of ufologists that do think some of these things come from underneath the ocean. It's weird. I never thought to put it together with like dolphin communication, which is that like echolocation or some shit? Probably not. People are gonna make fun of me for saying that, but it's whatever at this point.
I'm not a dolphin expert.
The dolphinologist.
I just know, dolphinologist. I just know that if I'm laying in bed and I hear dolphins outside my window, I'm going to be terrified.
Oh yeah.
Like way worse than normal. Like just hearing a noise. Like if there's something tapping on the window. That's scary.
Yeah, it's so out of pocket.
I hear dolphins talking. Now I'm going to instantly think I'm being abducted. There's just no getting around it.
Like the SpongeBob episode when they keep trying to cuss, but they just block it out with dolphin noises. I'm gonna think aliens are out on my back porch just cussing up a storm.
I hope so, because that's a way cooler thought than being taken.
And a lot of things that Dr. Coughlin mentioned coincide completely with Jennifer's experience. It being in the woods, it happening more than once. And MUFON basically said, "Yeah, your area over there, pretty fucked up."
Yeah. It's had a recent uptick in sightings.
Yeah. And with the beings essentially using the clicking sound to communicate until they're noticed, which I mean also explains why they just took off out of the like in the middle of whatever the fuck they were doing. They'll just hop back in and said, we better go.
And it makes you feel extra gross when it gets described in the context of like they will typically back off once they're spotted. However, they will come back.
Yeah, like you're marked.
That in particular makes me feel extra gross. Because I can just see it in my head. Like there's, I don't know, like it's hard to explain the feeling that I get from that. It's because it's like, haha, you caught me, but
this time
I'm just gonna wait till you go back to sleep, and then I'll be back.
You caught me this time.
Yeah, and it's just, it's like an insidious feeling, just like nothing you can do will ever stop them and what they want to do.
Yeah, relentless.
Like it's a really terrible feeling. It's even worse to like Visualize all of it, live it out in your brain, because then it just makes you not want to go to sleep at night.
Yeah. And the way that she described them not wanting to be seen, like poking out, like doing the hide behind kind of thing.
It's exactly what Edmonds experienced.
Yeah. And oddly enough, like I have an innate fear of aliens since I was little. But in my brain, there's always this, I don't know if it's a memory that I blocked out, but it's always just there of one of those little motherfuckers just poking half of its head around the door. Like you just see half of its head. You see it's a big black eye. And like so much, like I wrote a story in 3rd grade. My mom might still have it about an alien abduction. And like I wanted to draw the picture of it coming, looking around the door because it was so prominent in my memory. So
I feel like a lot of people have that same memory too, like that same concept of the gray.
It's terrifying.
Like, yeah, because when they describe it, when you describe it, I can visualize it to a T. You don't even have to describe it. You just say this little thing peeking around the corner, and you know exactly. Your brain goes, "Yep, I know that one. I know that."
Isn't it weird that our brains are all like wired to be afraid of that? To feel uncomfortable from it?
Yeah.
It's almost like an uncanny valley kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
like you know what you're looking at is not supposed to be here.
Well, it's even crazier that, like in some reports, people just like they couldn't see the face.
Yeah.
Like there's a screen being placed up where they're like, no, you can't remember us.
Thought manipulation and shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Absolutely disgusting.
There are like heavy theories about them being able to hypnotize people and all kinds of shit.
Yeah. Which wouldn't surprise me.
That's the best description for last time.
If they have any capacity to like be inside your head, I fully believe that they have a capacity to manipulate certain situations.
Yep.
And I mean, even Mr. Edmonds from Stardust, like that feeling you talk about of peeking around the corner, they did that not only with corners, but they did it with fucking reality. He's like, they would just walk out of, there'd be like a door there, and they would just walk out of it. You wouldn't see anything on either side until they peeked their head out.
Yeah, Edmonds did that one interview, that live webcam interview, and the one is behind him.
Yeah,
just for that split second, just goes, "Hey, see ya."
Peeks around the corner, just like you described.
Sucks.
Yeah, it's gross. It's gross. And dolphin noises aren't cool. So now you forever have to punch dolphins every time you hear them click.
Dolphins are pricks anyway.
Yeah. I've never had a bad run-in with one, but
I've never met one. But I ain't trying to.
That's where I'm at.
All I gotta say is I've never seen a gray alien and a dolphin in the room at the same time.
That's facts.
So that's enough proof for me.
If a dolphin can be in my room, we've got problems.
Yeah, aliens are gonna be the last thing we're worried about if your room's full of dolphins.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, but Jennifer, thank you so much for taking the time to send that in. We went on a tangent there, clicking aliens, dolphin, UFOs, all sorts of shit. Again, everybody go check her book out. It is Life Beyond Us by Jennifer Bryant. For sure, go and peep it. Yeah, that was a good one. That sparked up some good conversation there. Definitely put me on the whole clicker. Oh, just calling them clickers is gross.
That's what I was going to title it.
Yeah, it should be.
Because it is gross. That's
yucky.
That's not a very good. It's just a bad image in your head.
Yeah.
Because like, I almost bet that every single person listening to this will be able to describe that clicking noise. They know exactly what it is in their head.
Yeah. They're assholes.
For some reason, we know it.
Because we're supposed to be afraid of it.
Well, we
We are.
So mission accomplished.
Yeah, good job. You've done what you came to do.
Yeah, ancestors, you did us a solid because we are still afraid of that.
It's weird. I just feel like it's so unnatural. But I mean, but a lot of human language uses clicks too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like that's weird as well.
Yeah.
Like maybe we were taught that somewhere down the line. People interact with it enough that they turned it into like actual human communication.
Yeah, that's still not very good. Still
No.
creepy.
Sucks.
Still creepy because for the most part, I'm not trying to be Gray's friend.
Dude, did you hear what Coughlin said? She has witness audio that have caught the clicking noises.
Oh
in
yeah,
abduction
no.
experiences.
Yeah, I'm not trying to record that.
No.
Because that's just one of them things. You hear it and you know you're fucked.
Yeah.
There's no getting around that. You're up shit creek. Good luck.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Food. Okay, that's your food for thought for the end of the work week now, everyone. If anybody has any audio of alien clicker speech, send it our way. Oh, I did want to talk. Not change the subject, but since before we go here, we just put out the Schuylkill notes this past Monday. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. We got boots on the ground in Schuylkill County, looking for the notes.
Oh, that's awesome.
They sent a message to the Facebook this morning. Boots on the ground.
Maybe we'll end up with one.
They're gonna pick them up and send it out.
That'd be awesome.
I said, we got you. You send them out. We'll hook you up.
That's awesome.
Anyway, that's it for today's listener experience. Excellent ride-in. Definitely got the wheels turning. Now me and Kyle feel gross right before we go to bed. So
yeah, it's a
thanks
good
for
feeling.
that. But we do appreciate it. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. Hopefully this adds a little steam to the last push of your work week. A lot of people have Friday off for Good Friday. So that's kind of a bonus. Feeling that. Hope everybody has an excellent holiday weekend as well. Spend some good time with your family and your friends and the ones that mean the most to you. So, that being said, thanks for hanging out with us. Check us out all our socials: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Discord, Reddit. Send us over your paranormal experiences if you'd like to hear us talk about them. And until we meet again, stay safe, stay weird. And if there are dolphins in your room talking to one another, there's no shame in punching them.